Hey, what's up? Welcome to MyFi. My name is Lee Baker, and this is the podcast where we talk about the music that influences and inspires us and the music that has influenced and inspired the musicians and artists and entrepreneurs that you follow and appreciate, and maybe they influence you. And so, anyway, just wanted to let you know a little bit about what the podcast is about and where it came from in this short introduction. We're going to be interviewing some of our uh, first guests over the next several weeks. And so we got a couple pilot episodes coming out, as well as our first official episode in the month of June. So look forward to that too. Make sure you follow MyFi Podcast at MyFi Podcast on all the social media stuff: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the stuff. MyFi is a place where we're going to talk about music. And the inspiration behind the podcast was really that I always find out about music that is incredible, that influences me, that inspires me from musicians and artists and creative people that I trust. And so I myself listen to podcasts and I hear musicians that I admire, musicians that have influenced me, talk about the records that have influenced them. And if I haven't heard those records, I go listen to those records. I'll go add those to my music accounts, to my Apple Music or whatever, and I'll go listen to those records, songs, whatever. And so I don't care if somebody is an entrepreneur, like a business person or an artist or a creative of some type, meaning like a filmmaker, a designer, an animator, a musician, a songwriter, a singer. I don't care who they are. If they're people that I go, man, they're really great at their craft, that inspires me. And I want to know what inspires them. And that's how I find out about a lot of new music. And so I wanted to start this podcast to be a resource for that, to interview people across genres, across creative disciplines, across every field that we can, that would hopefully help you find new music by them telling their story about the music that inspired them. And so every guest on the show is going to answer a lot of the same questions. You know, we'll get into personal things and projects they have going on, and things that inspired them and personal stories and all those sorts of things. But I want to know things about them, like the first record they bought with their own money, maybe the first live music experience they ever had, and what kind of influence that had on their life. And I want to know right now, what music is influencing you, what new music is coming out. A lot of artists and creatives and entrepreneurs and people that we follow on social media or in life, they'll talk about music from the past that inspires them. But I want to know what artists today are inspiring people. And so hopefully on MyFi, we're going to uncover some of that. And on a regular basis, this will be a resource for you, the listener, to find out about artists, music, songs, albums that hopefully will inspire you as well, that are inspiring the artists and creatives and entrepreneurs and musicians and people that you follow. And it'll be a resource for you. So, I want to thank a couple people that helped me to get started on the podcast. I want to thank a company called the Brightful Company. You can follow them at Brightful Co on all social media platforms, at the Brightful Co. On all social media platforms. They're a creative agency. They did our logo. They've helped with our branding things to get started. And so make sure you follow them. Incredible creative resource with branding, marketing. Maybe you're a company, you need to rebrand. Maybe you're in the situation where you're starting a company for the first time. They can help you with that. And so check out the Brightful Co. on social media, and or thebrightful.co. On the web. Also want to thank Anchor FM. We're using Anchor FM and Riverside FM for all our podcasting needs. Anchor FM and Riverside FM are super helpful. Anchor FM is a free podcasting platform that uploads straight to Spotify, straight to all the places that you maybe listen to Apple Podcasts, or wherever you consume your podcasts. Anchor FM can help you get started as a podcaster. And so make sure you check them out, especially if you're interested in starting a podcast. Anchor FM is an awesome resource. You can watch us on YouTube as well at youtube.com/MyFi podcast will be there. You can watch this as well as our pilot episodes and our first official episode coming up. And again, like I mentioned before, you can follow us on social media at MyFi Podcast everywhere: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. We're going to show clips from our shows. Every show will be a podcast, obviously like an audio podcast, but every show also will be on YouTube via Riverside FM. So please check out the YouTube. Please share this on social media. Please let people know as you enjoy listening to some of our guests. And listen, we have some really exciting guests set up for the future. So listen, when I tell you, you're going to want to check it out. You're going to want to listen to these first few episodes. We have an animator. We have a songwriter who was who is a guitar player as well in a band, we have an up and coming indie artist coming up on one of our pilot episodes. Just a really great array, I think, over this first few episodes that spans genres, it spans ages, it spans backgrounds, it spans inspiration. And I think we're going to have some great conversation with guests. I'll do an intro on each podcast, and then we'll get into the interview with the guest. It'll be 35, 45 minutes, hopefully, in the interview. And then we'll give you some information at the end, too. So, man, these are going to be fun. I'm super excited. I'm always inspired by music. I think that you're going to be inspired and you're going to find new music from the podcast as well. I myself am a musician, a lifelong musician, guitar player, songwriter, producer, composer. I love making music, listening to music, being inspired by music. And I think that you do too if you're listening to this. At least I hope you do. So make sure to check out the podcast, follow us on social, and we look forward to getting cranked up here at MyFi. Have a great one.